Hold on. Let me take your tape off. I got you. Do something to them edges. Hold on, I got your light. I got the light coming right up. Sure do. And then I got hold on. There we go. What's that? Pull it in a little close. What's that? I had to those loose. It's bothering my edges. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. He taught me how to like hold on. Hold on, let me see. I'm always bothering stuff. Just don't worry about it. I'll go back to it. Yeah, he taught me how to, you know how you can crop it and just have it, but that should be good enough. That should be good enough. I ain't gonna do all that. Anyway, because it actually looks good on the screen when I think about it. I guess it's just me. I'm that far back. My face is a little dry. Let me touch up now that I got a little light. Hold on. I can see it. I can see it. Okay, so Hodge twins had Candace on. That's who's in the background already. I saw them last night. The interview that they had dropped. And so I'm not necessarily sure when it was recorded, so to speak, but of course we're going to get into it because she's off all of next week. And I need something playing in the background because I got some videos to edit. So I'm going to be multitasking, so to speak. Give me a second real quick. Because I technically, I don't need this. I don't technically need you. I can stream here without having to let me see. Give me a second. Oh, hold on. Wipe that camera. Wipe that camera off, please. Okay, that's not that bad. I'm assuming I didn't put no cream on the forehead. I just stopped here. And let me just play her in the back because I'll be talking. All this
able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand in any direction.
We shut things down, didn't do things.
See, I had already started. I'm 2 minutes in. Let me give him a thumbs up. Not now. Last night. Go, Candace.
Day the day after, and I just, there was something almost like spiritual about what happened. And the amount of emails that I've received to the exact same effect of how
It's okay, I'm gonna start about it. Because what she was talking about, the Hodge twins, you know, the first question that they asked. So where you was at when you got the news? Of course, we're starting with Charlie. Charlie Kirk, to be exact. R.I.P. And First question they ask. So where you was at when you had got the news? Oh my goodness. All right, that's what you started with. Where you was at? Cause we know where we was at, but where you was at when you had heard about it? Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. It's that was what she was talking about. Specifically that part. Hold on, I gotta get a thumbnail real quick. Go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
Hodge Twins. Hardcast. It's gonna be a damn good show.
Hey, Candace, it's so great that you could meet up with us. Thank you for giving us your time today.
I'm glad we could make it work. I know we were trying to do it in person, but it turns out I never make it out there. So
Yeah. Hey, before we get started, I want to give our condolences to you. I know you and Charlie were really close, so I can't imagine what this has been like for you. Because when we saw what happened, it was very traumatic for us, and we only met him a couple of times.
Yeah, I probably spoke maybe 100 words to Charlie, but it felt like I lost a family member that day.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people felt that, which was really interesting. Like the impact of his assassination, I think, was not like anything we've ever seen. I actually met you guys through Charlie. Remember that?
Right.
An event together. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, Charlie and I were doing something, and we had you guys speaking.
Exactly.
in
Washington.
backstage.
Yeah, in Washington D.C. Yes.
Look at him
Man.
blinking over there on the side. I saw this part last night, and I'm like, I don't know why he started blinking like that. Let me rewind a bit. I don't know why he started blinking like that. I don't know. I don't just.
And then we had you guys speaking.
Exactly.
in
Washington.
backstage.
Watch him.
Yeah, in Washington D.C. Yes. Man.
What happened? What just happened? He started glitching. Let me get out of here. I'm trying to multitask. Give me a second. Goodness gracious, I keep forgetting that. I have to add the picture. I can't copy. Okay. Hold on. I don't know why he started glitching. I have to add the thumbnail before I just bear with me, please. And then let me see what's. I be trying to concentrate. Like, I'm just trying to see what number I'm on. Okay. Was it 20? I think I'm on 21, if I'm not mistaken. Because it's not, I haven't released it yet. That was my phone. Because if this one was 21, then this one should be 20. Or it might be 21. Are we caught up? Oh my goodness. I can't remember. And I don't have, get a violin. I don't have, what's the word I'm looking for? YouTube Studios downloaded to go and check for the ones that's unreleased. Let me get that on there real quick. That's why I got you first. I was like, you can go ahead first. I wasn't gonna go live yet because the phone that I usually use to go live, I'm actually using it to edit some videos, and so watch him glitch, child. You already see him mid glitch. Just watch him. I don't know what just happened, but he just started glitching real quick. Give me a second. He just randomly started glitching. I'm saying glitching, but he just started.
And then we had you guys
excessively.
speaking. when you're
Exactly. Watching it.
backstage.
Look,
Yeah,
and they
watch
be
it.
cutting her off too. Oh, watch him. Here we go. Just watch him.
See, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, wow.
So it's been a time.
How many blinks was that? How many blinks was that? Because that was just totally unnecessary. But let's just finish. Let's finish.
Where were you when that tragedy happened?
Look how he looking
At
at.
the time.
Look how
Well,
he
I-
started looking at his brother like that's the first question. He started rubbing his hand and everything. Look, where you was at? I'm like, oh my goodness. Look.
So it's been a time.
Where were you when that
What? Look how he looking at his
tragedy
question. His
happened?
arm like that's the first
the
question you
time.
want to
Well,
start.
I was here. I was upstairs prepping for my podcast show. We were just going to do a regular episode, and Savannah came downstairs and said, Charlie's been shot. Yeah, it was just, it's just so crazy. I couldn't even comprehend.
And then for us people who watch Candace religiously, she ain't even tell. I mean, we know now, but I'm saying like when she say, "Hey, all right, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow," we be like, "Okay, I'll see you tomorrow." And so when she didn't come on, I know I was one of them people like, okay, refresh, go to a page. Did she post something? I know I was over there like, where's she at? What happened?
She was saying,
Right.
so
Yeah.
obviously we just immediately canceled the show and sent everybody home.
Exactly.
And,
We did the exact same thing. From the moment I found out he had been shot, we went to trying to find out if he's okay. And then when I saw the video, I couldn't function for like 3 days. Just went home.
Yeah. The majority of the world, except for Turning Point USA, I think felt that way, which is remarkable. I think everybody shut things down, didn't do things the next day, the day after, and I just, there was
I
something.
mean, it was 9/11 the next day, so I really wasn't doing nothing. And I didn't know anything about Charlie until
Spiritual about what happened, and the amount of emails that I've received to the exact same effect of how impacted people were, and some people who had never even heard of him, people
never,
that have never been to the United States. There's just something about that video and the way that he died. And we've obviously seen a lot of violence and a lot of crimes over the years, but that was something different.
Right. Now I want to get to talk to you about your show. Like, it's been a lot of people attacking you on your work about Charlie assassination. It seems like they really misunderstand what your show is about. It's like, from my perspective, is you're not making any declarations about who killed him or what happened. It's like you putting out things that you're following like leads, and then you putting it out to the public to share with everybody
That'll get my
what's
peripheral.
going on and what information you have.
What is this stream about? Right now, I'm watching Hodge twins and Candace Owens interview. So that's what today's episode is about. And, happy Valentine's Day.
Am I right about that?
Happy Saturday.
Yeah, it has been very strange to see the immediate reaction that people had.
Sure.
Some people, I would not say the majority opinion, obviously, but the people in media were certainly offended at the prospect of people investigating what happened on that
For
day,
sure.
which to me signals that there was a foregone conclusion, and that foregone conclusion was Tyler Robinson did it and he acted alone. And you could just see that there was a lot of money that was backing this idea that to even investigate anything regarding what happened on September 10th was a sin greater than what happened on September 10th. It was unbelievable.
Right. And it's
It's an interesting perspective that she just brought up. I guess it was just the fumbles. It was, oh, we got him. Oh, wait, no, we ain't got him. Hold on just a second. But we'll just give us a minute because we thought we had him. But we, and it's so weird because they tweet. Who? I said I was going to get back over there on X. I said I was going to get back over there. I want to so bad. It's just I want to get back over them. But I think that's what really threw me off. Oh, we got him. No, we ain't got him. Hold on just a second. But they tweeting this. But then again, it's Cash Patel. So you really couldn't.
It's like a lot of these attacks are coming from the right, which is shocking to me.
Yeah, it's like they've been trying to lately. They've been trying to label you as a grifter
And just trying to discredit you
That's a grifter.
as a grifter.
Yeah.
Like a grifter.
To be honest,
Yeah, like it's a grifter. Did I miss something here? First of all, let me go to take two. What is a grifter? Am I missing something? Is that a word that I didn't? Oh, excuse me. Oh, okay, that's you. I'm trying to figure out what is a grifter. Cause I don't think I know what a grifter is. Ma'am, please go back to where you're supposed to be at. I don't think I know what a grifter is. Just get from over there because she all in your business. Grifter. What is a grifter? A person who engages in petty or small-scale swindling. Okay. It's swindling. What the hell just happened? What the fuck is that? Oh, okay. To obtain money or property by fraud or deceit. To take money or property by... Okay. Fraud. Okay. Oh. Okay. But okay. Oh. How is she swindling? I'm confused because we're trying to figure out what happened to Charlie, and she be over there getting her super trades. I'm like, y'all didn't allege that she was swindling when she was talking about Brigitte.
it has not been the right, but it has been
Hey,
the
Brigitte.
Zionists on the right.
Oh,
And
okay,
I
yeah,
think
That's a huge distinction.
which is a huge distinction, yeah, because I think the right has been infiltrated by the Never Trumpers, and sure, they call themselves the right, but they're not. They're just the pro-Israel. If they have to be on the left to support Israel, then they're on the left. You know, they were happy to try to assist Hillary Clinton in winning back in 2016 because they were so virulently anti-Trump. But now they love Trump, and even though they wanted DeSantis, they love Trump. And so we're just dealing with neocons, and there's nothing actually conservative about them. You know, they have some talking points. I'd like lower taxes, but then they are pro-war all the time, which obviously makes entirely no sense.
Yeah.
There has definitively been, you could see where the line is, if you support Israel, you do not support the investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk. I wonder why.
Oh,
Right. It's almost like they're scared what you're going to find, whether it's going to be something.
you don't say, Hodge twins. You don't say. Imagine that. Oh. They're gonna be scared about what she may find. Interesting.
You know, nefarious and turning point, or it's going to eventually lead to Israel.
Well, that's why we have jumped down the rabbit hole.
That's the gist I get from it. It's like they're scared that you're digging, that you're asking a question. That's like one of Charlie's biggest motto is like, keep asking questions. That's how you know we're still free. And it's like they're going away from what Charlie really wanted Turning Point to become.
Yeah, and to be clear, Charlie died allowing people to ask him questions, to prod narratives, and they're trying to convince us that his legacy will only be protected if we all agree not to ask any questions about how he died, which doesn't make sense. And they've, despite having tons of money and financing that sort of psychological operation, it has failed. It has failed because people realize that what is obvious.
A small act of kindness was the word of the day yesterday.
are not upholding any of the values that Charlie held dear. And free speech would be primary among them, the values that he held dear. And so it has been an interesting time, and I agree with you. Most people were not comforted by the fact that Bibi Netanyahu felt it necessary.
Immediately. Why are you talking? I ain't do nothing. I ain't had nothing to do with that. It wasn't me. What? I'm sorry. What that little saying say? A hurt dog what? But nobody said nothing to him. It was so weird. He didn't sat down. He had the cameras and stuff ready. He invited the press in and stuff. Come on, so we can make a statement, because I ain't had nothing to do with that. So don't come over here asking me. So nobody said nothing to you.
In the immediate aftermath, to declare that he
Immediately.
killed Charlie Kirk,
That was
and that it was very strange. I don't know if you felt the need to say that on your podcast. I didn't feel the need to come out and say that on my podcast.
Right.
It's not a normal thing to feel that you need to declare
Right.
immediately after somebody is shot and killed that you didn't kill them, unless you most certainly did.
Oh. Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Like I was really upset when it happened because few months before it happened, there was a man on the roof that tried to take out President Trump. And it's like, that's the first thing I would look at as the security. If I was security for Charlie, was to always keep an eye on the roof. It's like common sense. How does someone get up on the roof? How do they allow something like that to happen?
Because if anybody's going to try to take someone's life, it's always going to be from a distance.
Right.
Capitalism was never designed to help you thrive. It was designed to keep you exhausted. I hate that capitalism creates a hierarchy of worth, where essential workers can't afford essentials, and billionaires treat recessions like opportunities.
Come on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when we obviously were then subjected to Brian Harple's very unconvincing interview with Sean Ryan,
I don't even know why he even said anything. I don't even know why he sat down and did an interview. I don't even know where that came from. But we learned a lot. Right? We definitely learned a lot. Unfortunately. And just gonna put it out there. Did we see him at Fort Huachuca? Was that who Mitch said that he saw at Fort Huachuca day before? Go ahead.
he shows one text message that's not even his, it's actually Dan Flood's. And he says,
I didn't know that.
he asked about roof access.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't even know that wasn't even his text message.
And we got one response that said, yeah, I'll look into that for you. And that's all they did. And as I was investigating, I determined that they absolutely were only referring to that walkway that was behind Charlie. They never came early. They never did a walkthrough. The only thing they were concerned about, and they kept insisting to the UVU police, was that they wanted to make sure that Charlie's car had a clean exit. That was their primary concern. The university had advised against Charlie doing an event outside in that location because of the fact that they could not control traffic flow. So that makes sense. If we can't check your tickets and make sure you're here for this event and know who you are,
But they
you're
were
sitting
checking
duck.
tickets anyway.
And despite this, Turning Point insisted that that's what Charlie wanted. He wanted to be outdoors, and so they even
probably told him
declined
something
the
else.
security recommendations from both the police and UVU. So it's
That's amazing.
definitely is very strange.
Yeah. I
say
mean,
that was
when you work with Charlie, I mean, he didn't build that organization alone. Honestly, you had a big part in that. When y'all went to these Q&As, how effective was security? I mean, I would think y'all would have like president level security.
That event was nothing like anything I had ever seen. They allege on the Turning Point side that Charlie had done some outdoor event. I think it was here actually in Tennessee. And he had then loved that sort of Coliseum setup, the amphitheater setup so much that he wanted that going forward. So that was something recently that they said that he was demanding. Obviously, no, of course, basic security protocol. Even if I said, I really want this,
Right.
the security team would say, well, you really can't have this because it's just not secure. And everyone is telling you not to do this. And clearly, what Charlie wanted, Charlie didn't get at his organization. You could see that even in terms of how they were controlling who could come speak. So the idea that this one thing they allowed him to push through and say, oh no, he's got to have that Coliseum set up doesn't ring true to me. It seems like somebody else was pushing for that. Of course, the security could have said to him no, especially because he's contracting them and their reputations are on the line. There was no pushback at all. There was only push forward on the Turning Point USA side, the security apparatus. Typically, of course, there's traffic control. There are tickets. They know who's buying those tickets, and people are reserved. So that was just all completely violated. Anybody could have walked up and sat down in that event if they wanted to.
I just said that. Didn't I just say that? I was like, we had already found that out. Y'all wasn't even checking tickets. Oh, everybody come. They ain't, oh, yeah, don't even worry about it. You good. We don't need no tickets. You don't need no tickets.
Everything that I saw, even from Terrell being there, was the first time that's ever happened. He's the guy who notoriously filmed himself after Charlie got shot and
but
said,
in the cut. Ooh. My thing is, how are you already declaring that he's dead? What's this today? Is this today? Yes. How are you already declaring that he's dead? I'm confused. I'm confused. He over there, he done jumped up on the ledge. He done ducked off in the cut. He done flipped the camera around. Oh, look, caught a shot of them going to the car. And then he was like, he dead. How?
dead within 2 minutes. And then right after that, rather than running toward this person that he's worked with for over a decade or calling 911, it's amazing none of them thought to call 911. He runs down to remove the cameras. And so one of my first questions was, why was Terrell there? I'd done tons of events. Terrell doesn't go to these school events. And they said, well, we were trying something new that day. Like what? An assassination? Like, I don't,
That's
what were you
weird.
trying
You
to
don't
do?
try things new in the middle of a Q&A.
Yeah, and even stranger is that Terrell, they were trying something new that day, but don't forget they had scheduled Charlie to have an event just 10 days later at UVU. He also had an event later that week at Colorado. Terrell wasn't slated to be there. So they were not just trying something new. They were trying something new for just one day that required Terrell. There was no communication between Terrell and the events team for the events that were in the immediate future. There was no security planned for the event that Charlie had the very next day at Colorado. There was no communication. No. So it's almost like the security knew that that event was not going to take place.
You know what's crazy? Like when what happened to President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania? Conservatives really attacked the FBI. We really went after them. So that was an inside job. They're trying to Secret Service. Yeah. The incompetence that the females, what they were doing that day, it's like we really went after the FBI. The people that was in charge were protecting him, right? And it's like when we go trying to go after the truth about Charlie Kirk, it's like people start labeling us like bad faith actors and conspiracy theorists. Why do you think the switch up? Why is he trying to label people on the right just trying to really find out about Charlie? Why are they trying to paint us as like just grifters and conspiracy theorists?
Because they we don't know. Obviously.
Is this your caffeine?
Obviously. What was the
That is not mine.
Where did you get it from?
form of intimacy?
Because the boss has a boss. And, Trump took
Interesting point. Because the boss have a boss. Did she say have or has? I think she said has. The boss has a boss. Ice and milk. Okay, I don't drink milk. So So I don't know how people drink their milk with ice. So I'm like, I don't drink milk. Question. Go.
Million from Miriam Adelson. Charlie stepped on Bibi Netanyahu's toes when he went head to head to him over Iran back in May, I believe, was when it was Operation Midnight Hammer when we bombed Fort Al, and Bibi wanted a full front war at that time, and Charlie convinced the president that that was not a good idea, and he stood up to the entire Zionist lobby who were in his ears. I think Bibi viewed him as problematic. They were very upset about Tucker's speech, and Charlie had said he was abandoning the, Israel cause. And so I think what you're seeing is that Trump has a boss. And so it's much of what we see in D.C. is just an illusion. I think we've always been aware that there was a deep state. And I would say that the proliferation of the deep state was certainly after JFK was assassinated in '63.
Yeah, when I think of the deep state, I think of Israel. And that's how I really was drawn to Trump, because of the deep state and the shadow government controlling our government. We wanted to put America first. And so far, I think we're getting anything but that.
Anything but that. And you know what? I'm so glad that all of Trump supporters, past supporters, previous supporters, no longer supporters, I'm glad that everybody is coming to that realization. So don't try to blame it on Marjorie Taylor, because she was like, you know what? Don't try to blame it on Marjorie Taylor Greene. Don't try to blame it on her, because y'all the ones that voted for him. Y'all was the one that was rooting for him and stuff. Oh my goodness. Yay. He'd get a second chance, and Go ahead and finish Hodge Twins and
I agree.
Candace. This is a pretty iconic little interview, if you ask me. And I ain't been over there to Hodge Twins. Try to be over there. That done turned into a little reaction. They might do a little political commentary here and there, but for the most part, it's just a little reaction channel. But they have come a long way, if you ask me, because I'm not the one to be putting all my little business out there now, but if you know, you know. And let me tell you something. As a person who actually is a foodie, child, them doggone Hodge Twins, child, they eat all day. Man, when I tell you, just sit there and watch them eat. And they'll be talking. Oh, I wonder why they don't be eating no more. They could be eating while they sitting there doing that. That's how we know them. They used to eat. I'm talking about they used to tag team. Come on, we'll get some lunch. You could only imagine like how it started when it like that first, cause they twins, so, and they real twins, but just imagine them having lunch together. Let's record. Oh, let's put it on YouTube. Let's start a YouTube channel. They used to eat.
It's a letdown. I think if there's one thing
that's because I'm a Hodge Twins fan.
I'm happy about, it's that we certainly proved the rhetoric was always MAGA is a cult, MAGA is a cult. But I think we've certainly proven that we are not. And when he started to go back on his promises, his consistent attacking of Thomas Massey, when we get the energy that you have towards Thomas Massey, toward the investigation into who killed Charlie Kirk, that'd be great. It's not exactly what we were uniting behind. MAGA wasn't like, let's take down Thomas Massey. This is our number one problem.
Right.
And so it's almost like somebody has his phone and somebody is telling him what to say, when to say it. And that's, you just don't get $200 million and not owe somebody. And $200 million, it seems to me, seems to have been the cost for this administration.
I think his attacks on Thomas Massey and Marjorie Greene is when he calls them names, it's like an ulterior motive that he's not sharing with MAGA.
Did I not just say her name? Look, did I not just say Marjorie? Okay, look, stop playing. And shout out to Thomas Massey because, child, I got introduced to Thomas Massey through Theo Vaughn. That's what you have to love about YouTube. That's what people don't really understand about YouTube. Child, it's all one big happy family. And I'm talking about she brings us all together. All together. It's your algorithm. That YouTube algorithm ain't different. But let me tell you something. That's how I got introduced to Thomas Massey through Theo Vaughn. He had let him take a little field trip inside of his little, I don't want to call it, it's like a pickup truck camper that he got on top of the bed of his truck and stuff like that. Shout out to Thomas Massey. Shout out to Theo Vaughn. I ain't been over there in a minute. But I think he did an interview with Donald Trump that I haven't watched yet. Because I had caught the Cat Williams interview that he did. And that was pretty interesting. And then I saw the Thomas Massey one. He is really funny. You got to give it a Theo Vaughn shot because I don't know where he came from. He just popped up out of nowhere, at least for me on my algorithm. But come on.
I think he's doing it for foreign interests. He's not really putting America first. Like his attacks on Marjorie Greene, calling her a traitor.
Calling her
I remember
Marjorie Traitor Green. So disrespectful. I would have left too. I would have put in my little a 30-day notice. Cause you're like, I'm about to here because I don't have time for this.
I went to one of his rallies and I met Marjorie, and she was discussing about I really think they're trying to put Trump in jail. And she looked very concerned. She was very worried about him. And then to see him go on TV and to call her a traitor, it's like, it really pissed me off.
But it was only because she was trying to get the files released. Remember, she had did that press conference with the survivors. And who was that? Who was that was making fun? I think it was Josh. I think it was Josh Johnson who was talking about Marjorie and how the microphones was all the way up here while she was talking at that press. I believe it was Josh, if I'm not mistaken, who was making fun of her. You did all that to Marjorie. I mean, number one supporter for the Republican side, and then you turn around and you release them anyway. I mean, we get them in increments, child. They coming out slowly but surely. It's some redacted, some isn't redacted, but you kind of get the gist of it. Child, it's random people popping up in these emails. Random people is popping up in these emails. Who was that princess that we just heard about? It was this random princess that we heard about. I'm like, who is she?
A lot of us felt that way for the exact same reason. People that took real risks to support him, people that were willing to be tarnished, have their reputations tarnished for supporting him when it was not popular to do so. You see how quickly he will flip on you if you don't worship his perspectives, because he needs the compliment that what he's doing is right, even when it's wrong. And Charlie was that rare person who would tell him the base is not going to like this, as he did with our involvement in Iran. Like, this was one of your promises that we weren't going to get involved, and you're not delivering on that. He no longer had.
Y'all voted for him. Y'all put him in office. So y'all have to accept the consequences of y'all actions. Because what? Y'all didn't want Kamala? Okay. Okay. Y'all preferred Donald over Kamala. And y'all was just so happy. Yes. Yes. Okay. Where's that same energy now? I'm just asking because, I mean, here we are. Here we are. And he is in everybody's business but the United States.
Perspective in his ear. So he has just a bunch of Zionists telling him, showing him articles that have been written by Zionists. Everybody loves you. This is great. And you can see that misdirection. It's like he's putting things out there that are so obviously not going to make his base happy. And you have to wonder who is informing these terrible perspectives. And the answer is Israel's entire apparatus that has infiltrated. And so he's not even, I don't even really think there's a conversation to be had about what Trump's going to do anymore. It's Bibi Netanyahu. What does Bibi Netanyahu want, and what is America going to get?
In return?
Do you think that's hurting his base going forward?
Obviously.
Like Republican voters, like in the next presidential election? Do you think the Republicans are going to lose a lot of steam if they feel like the Republican nominee is going to be Israel's first president?
Left and right, if you are Israel first, you're probably not going to secure the nomination. That's what I would say.
But back to Charlie, I don't mean to flip-flop around. I've noticed Erica referred to Turning Point as family. And I know you said you was really...
Erica, Lord. I don't know when this was recorded or, when this interview was conducted. I was trying to figure out when she wore that shirt, but she probably threw it on just for this so she don't throw us off. So I don't know when this was recorded, but let me hear her answer, and then I'll be able to tell you.
Charlie, y'all was like close friends, yeah. Without going into anything private, of course, or personal, can you describe that dynamic, your relationship with Charlie? Like, did he confide in you, or did he use you as a resource when things was heavy at Turning Point, or he just needed a resource to fine-tune things?
If you have ED, you might need to work on your mental game. When you're aroused, your brain releases dopamine. That dopamine kicks off a chain reaction, sending signals through your nervous system, helping you get an erection. Most generic ED meds just focus on the blood flow. Near the end of that chain reaction.
Bummer.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie and I came up together, so I mean, people don't know who you are, and then you
look at young Charlie with the blazer. Look at Candace with these jeans and this jacket, something she got on. I don't know if this looked like this was edited together. I don't know if they standing by. They could be. I don't know. I can't really tell. Trying to look at Candace, honey.
Find, some degree of fame, notoriety, whatever it is that you want to call it, and you are constantly in a state of war. So I feel like he was the person beside me in like the 300 battle. You know what I mean? It was constant, and forget it. And then the jealousy of when Kanye tweeted us, and everyone came out of the woodwork, and it brings a smile to my face because it was fun. It was a lot of work, and it was fun, and we went everywhere, and we traveled everywhere, and we did it on a micro budget, terrible hotels that it would just pain me.
Right.
Yeah, it was one of the things that just laughing, reading through all the messages, like the suitcase didn't go through an airport. Walmart opens at 5 a.m. We have Fox at 6 a.m. Like, can you get to Walmart? Could you grab, that sort of a thing. So it was very much a brother and sister relationship, and of course, Charlie dating before he married Erica. So all of those things where he's confiding in who he likes, and I'm drafting text messages for him to send to this person or that person, and then even show the text message. I felt like I was basically dating these girls. I was like, should I send this? Should I send this? Should I wear this? I'm like, no, you shouldn't wear this. No, you should not send this. Because I'm older than Charlie, so it was very much like big sister, younger brother, but more like smart guy. Tia Tamara, like your younger brother also happens to be a genius.
Right. So you did everything
But,
for Charlie. You used to dress him up and everything, huh?
Yeah, for sure. Charlie,
Yeah.
Charlie with the baggy
He's trying
suits.
to be
People who
funny.
knew Charlie with the baggy suits. That was a phase, which has been one of the more upsetting things to me about like Don Trump, because Don was definitely his friend. He was a part of that, and I just expected Don to say more. He didn't, but yeah, it brings a smile on my face. It was a time, and then I got engaged. Obviously, he started dating Erica that same year that I got engaged, and life takes you in different directions. And I could see the pull of Turning Point, what they wanted to build Turning Point into after the Kanye tweet, and I was against it. You know, there was a lot of misconception regarding why I moved away from being the communications director. The reality is I didn't like Stacey Sheridan. I thought that she was money hungry. I expressed that to Charlie, and I felt that the people that they were suddenly hiring were obsessed with money and power. And when Charlie got into it, it was truly for love of country. But people forget he was young. He was really young. You start an organization when you're 18. And to be in your early 20s, especially for men, like, you know, it is true, men mature later than women do. So
Oh, you don't want to know what I was doing at 18. Yeah, that's amazing.
So it
what Charlie
becomes
accomplished
very,
at 18.
I think, tantalizing. People are pulling you in different directions, and if you do this, you could be president, you could do that, and you can get mixed in very easily with the wrong people. And politics is a pit of snakes. It's actually
Right.
hard not to end up with the wrong people. And I count myself
Yeah. Let me.
among the naive, by the way. I was working for Daily Wire. I mean, that seems crazy to me, and that was just a few years ago. So,
Heard to
yeah.
you. Heard to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, you know, there's an innocence to being young. There's a naivety to being young. It's so ridiculous when people pretend Charlie couldn't have made any mistakes in terms of who he selected as his lieutenants.
Right.
Clearly he did. Clearly he did.
Yeah. Do you think like? I think Charlie was a great guy from what I've seen and when I met him. But do you think, like in an organization like that, do you think over time you'll be manipulated by money and just trying to keep the organization going? You'll sacrifice your integrity here just a little bit because the money is there and you need is to keep this bigger picture open, to keep this organization going.
Yeah, I think that happens naturally. I mean, look, we're human, right? And there are, of course, going to be all of these pitfalls. We all have vices, and I just remember, I don't think I've ever showed it, but you know, Charlie was he used to like draw out these little charts of his goals. He was very into writing his goals down. We used to write our goals down, and they were usually metrics, like numerical metrics, like, you know, by the end of this year, I want to have 10,000 Instagram followers, or, you know, 20,000 Twitter followers, like those sorts of things. Sort of envision these things. Yeah, but there was no question that it would show this is how much I want to, you know, raise financially. So we're using this metric of success as where my finances are at, which is not, you know, totally wrong. If I did set down a chart and said I want to make sure that I have $50,000 in the bank by the time I'm 40, whatever it is, that's, but then when you have the wrong people around you and they're telling you like, oh, this is the person you need to meet, this is the person you need to be, and you're ignoring the morality of that person or how that person became rich. I mean, Miriam Adelson, what is the Adelson legacy? It's gambling. It's pharmaceuticals. Then you can get yourself into trouble pretty quickly.
So it sounds like y'all had different visions for Turning Point. Y'all started to go separate ways. You met your husband, he met his wife, and then over time, seems like Charlie started to miss your input, and he probably started to determine that, hey, maybe this is not the course I want to take. Turning Point. Did he make that confession to you?
Good question. That's a good question. I was on that for a minute. That was definitely a good question for sure. I mean, but then again, wouldn't you? You know? Like, it just goes to show you how friendships work. This is a great example of how friendships work, if you ask me, because we have a very interesting dynamic going on here with Candace and Charlie Kirk. Like I said, I didn't know him. I didn't even know that they were like this close of a friend. I didn't know anything about their history. I didn't know anything about her history with Turning Point. I didn't know nothing about no Turning Point. This is all very new to me. But this is a great example of friendships and how friendships evolve over time. How friendships evolve over time. I have a friend. I have a best friend to be exact. And her name is Kiera. And we grew up together. I met Kiera in kindergarten. Literally kindergarten. And we have been best friends ever since. I wish it might be on my other phone. I don't even think I have her picture on this phone, because I would airdrop it to myself real quick and show you. And every year, her birthday is October 31st, and my birthday is October 16th. And we text each other every year, happy birthday. We don't talk to each other throughout the year, but on each other birthday, we message each other and we say happy birthday. Ironically, she was just in town for Thanksgiving. It has to be on that phone because I don't see it on this phone, and I have a tendency to do that, take pictures. Hold on, let me see. What is this date? November, yeah. It'll be on that phone. And she had came by because she was in town, but she doesn't live here in Atlanta, but she was in town. And so I appreciated the fact that she had stopped by. We had talked, you know what I mean? Like caught up and stuff like that. I know she was like, when am I coming down there and stuff? Because I haven't been to Thomasville in a very long time. But it's all about friendships, though. Like, because when you get older, they just have a tendency to fade away. People just have a tendency to fade in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I have a hard time, so to speak. I will confess. That is one thing I will do. I will confess. I do have the hardest time when it comes to being a friend, because expectations are just impossible to some people. If you just ask me, like, unfortunately, I just can't sit and talk on the phone with you for hours on end about this problem, about that problem. Like I can't sit and gossip about this TV show or this movie. Unfortunately, I just can't do that because to me, that just feels unproductive. But that is one thing that I have learned in regards to Candace and being a friend to Charlie, and how, going through the mourning process of losing a friend so publicly, so horrifically, just so disrespectful, and then realizing something about this just isn't right. The whole Tyler Robinson thing, You know, because a lot of us was just thinking it in the background, like, that don't sound right, that don't look right, that don't feel right. And I'm just glad that she put her Brigitte Macron story on hold to figure out what happened to her friend. That's a friend. Y'all must don't understand. She put Brigitte on hold. We was just about to get ready to get started on season 2, part 2. We still don't have it. I know she has it. You know what I mean? Like, I know she has it, but the fact that she put Brigitte on hold, that's a friend.
In the, we never stopped touring together. I stopped being communications directors, but then we just went on tour. And so we never fell out of communication. We always
She's talking
spoke.
too fast, so I can't really speed her up. Then her words, so I can't hear her if I speed her up.
We were speaking a lot about faith towards the last year, I would say, 2024, 2025, last 2 years. Speaking about faith because I would say that the Zionist question was coming up. So that was definitely catalyzing that discussion. And obviously what he saw that was done to me. He knew who I was. He didn't like what happened. He didn't like the Daily Wire done to me. He was very clear and vocal in his support for me. So it led to the political questions, led to philosophical questions. The philosophical questions led to spiritual questions. And so for sure, Charlie was changing. There's no question that Charlie was changing, and he was considering Catholicism, which would have been a major upset to his evangelical donor base, more importantly, an upset to his Zionist donor base. And we obviously showed the squeeze that he was going through toward the end, trying to maintain friendships with Tucker, and he was done in the end. I mean, on September 9th, the day before he died, he was texting people saying, I want Candace back at AmFest, because he had allowed Zionists to peer pressure him into not inviting me. Because I was going through my Daily Wire thing, and they control the money, they make the demands, and he was just done with it. He expressed that to people, said, look, I don't care about the money anymore. So for him to make that declaration on the 9th and then to be there on the 10th, I suppose that's BB's fortune. He's just fortunate that way or something, that he was asserting that he was done with Israel, and then the next thing you know, he was gone, and Israel was trying to control his legacy and to pretend that period of transition wasn't happening, and it was. And obviously that's why it was really important for me to get out the truth.
Right. After his death, everyone noticed, the left and the right, how Erica was grieving. Like at his funeral, when she came out to those pyrotechnics
with that damn glitter suit,
the way she was dressed, I was really...
It's the flames for me. What they call pyrotechnicals, whatever you want to call them. Ooh, you doing a lot, honey. It's like a celebration, but let me let him finish.
I bit my tongue. I thought it was weird,
Yeah,
but
look, you know what? I had to go back to her speech in the studio. If you go to my YouTube history, I think I probably didn't get 5 minutes in. I know for a fact I didn't get 5 minutes in. It was the podium for me. It was the podium for me. It was that podium for me. Okay, ma'am, why do you need a podium? I don't understand. Why do you need a podium though? It's the little things. I didn't get through that speech. I didn't get through that speech because it was something about that podium that didn't sit right in my spirit. Why do you need a podium? But a podium though, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
everybody grieves differently, and I fed into that. Everybody grieves differently. I don't think anybody grieves like that.
It's one of these things, these psychological tricks, that they always argue in the extremities, right? So it's like everybody, when they're growing up, you're a girl or a boy when you're born, right? And then they'll be like, but what about this percentage of people that are actually born and they're hermaphrodite? That therefore means that, gender dysphoria is real because this could have happened. And they're like, oh, please stop arguing in the extremes. Like, you are not an exception. There is this whole realm of rules, and let's stop arguing with the exceptions, okay?
Right.
Personally, the only exception that I have seen to the rule of grieving in this manner with the pyrotechnics and the glitter and the laughter is Erica. Now, I've seen other ways of grieving, as in people who just, don't want to be seen for a while, or people who drink. There's all these other ways that people grieve, people who get into drugs, whatever it is. But generally, we recognize as humans what is within the realm of normal grieving, and this was the first time I've seen it done in this way. Especially when you add into the fact that this was a public execution, and the entire world had a normal spiritual response to that, as we discussed earlier. We would therefore expect, since people who did not know Charlie could not get out of bed, that you would perhaps expect that of his wife. And then if you remove that part, if you remove the CEO, maybe, okay, some people want to throw themselves into work. It certainly helps me to get back to some sense of normalcy, not in that regard of wanting to become the CEO of the chairman of a company. But even if you removed all of that, I think the part that no one can make an excuse for is not instantly worrying about the safety of your kids.
Right.
If you just watch your husband be assassinated and you realize my kids only have one parent left, and I don't know how this happened, your natural instinct is to not leave your children's side.
Right. Great
And
point.
so I think that to me was the loudest part. You have your pyrotechnics, you say you want to be the CEO, but to be present and at the office every day, days later, that doesn't track.
Right.
Caesar Milan, how to add years to your dog's life. Sardines.
9.
Bone broth.
10.
Raw eggs blended with the shells.
9.
Turmeric.
7, if you can get your dog to eat it.
Cucumbers.
8.
Blueberries.
9.
Avocados.
8.
Bananas.
7.
What about feeding your dog only once a day?
9. That's actually a proven dog plug.
Yeah. You released a voicemail of Erica talking to, I forget who she was talking to, but she was sharing some of the financials over the funeral of Charlie and how much money they made. It's just, it sounds like she was gloating about the money, and she didn't really care about, I mean, I don't know, I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's just like you was happy about the money and how good it went, and your husband's passes, it's like you almost forgot about your husband because it was a financial success.
Exactly. The check cleared.
So I
What is that at the top with a hand gesture doing a video called click? And it's that, oh, okay. That's theirs. I was like, what is that at the top? That's theirs. Okay, so I'm missing, okay. There was, whatever there was, okay. Oh, hold on.
tell you how I experienced that call. I was spiritually disturbed by it. That's the truth. And everyone was. I didn't need to contextualize the call. The call was, this is 11 days, not even 2 weeks after your husband was assassinated. You are referring to the memorial as the event of the century and discussing how much money you made off of selling T-shirts and hats.
We
And then it
ain't
almost
got our hats yet, ma'am. We haven't gotten our hats yet.
it was obligatory for her to then realize, like, oh, I should say something about Charlie. And it's like, oh, Charlie's dancing in heaven. He's like, get to work. And then, he's up there and he's like, more hats. I feel like if he's up there, he's probably like, please figure out what happened to me. Because they're lying to you, obviously, if we're doing that. Right. So that contrast and sort of what I really felt from it was emotional manipulation. They were manipulating people to think that it was almost like divine, that they're a part of this Turning Point family, and we've experienced this together. And the best way that we can cope with this tragedy is to work harder and to work longer days and weekends and 20 hours, because that's what Charlie would want. Like, that's what makes Charlie dance in heaven. It made me feel disgusted to listen to it, if I'm being frank. As even if you didn't know Charlie, that was the general feeling.
Like
Except for the
screw the
media
hat,
keeps
screw
trying
the
to tell
shirt.
us.
Yeah, screw the hat, screw the money. I'd rather have my husband. That's
Right.
Like, why are you even saying these things?
I was even expecting, like, okay, if you're going to say, like, if that's me and I'm like, I'm going to get to work. And for me, I then got obsessed because at first I couldn't watch the clip. My husband didn't let me watch it. So I saw the clip from afar of him getting shot, but I did not see the clip of him up close. And I'm glad he didn't let me watch that because I wasn't, I couldn't have dealt with that. It was a lot. Then I watched it obsessively and I watched every single angle and I organized, this angle for the side, left. And so my work was dedicated to trying to figure out what happened that day, who was there, what are the names of the people. Even if she had jumped on that call, the one that was 5 days later, before the event, and said, here's what we're going to do. Like the events team, I want a list of every person that was there. I want, this, I want that. I want to know every single minute. Terrell, you bring me the tapes. And I would say, okay, she's getting to work to solve who killed her husband.
Right.
But it wasn't that. It was like, I fully accept the narrative on day 5. Here's what we're going to do. We got to plan for the memorial. That's missing. You can't skip that process. You can't skip it. And looking at Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, she went through all of the right emotions. She was suing everybody. She was angry. She was aggrieved. There were no pyrotechnics at the memorial event. Even the differences in her speech, like Erica is talking about turning point, what turning point's going to be. You didn't get to learn who Charlie was in that speech. It was like he was just a company. And Vanessa's speech, she speaks about her daughter and all the things she's going to miss about her daughter, things that we didn't know about Kobe. Like we were invited into that because we knew him as a basketball player, but this was her husband, and she spoke about what it was like not knowing that she wasn't going to be there when Gianna got married. And I say to people, you should challenge yourself to go watch Vanessa's speech and then compare it to Erica's memorial speech, and you will see what is missing here.
So I can't do no damn comparison.
Right.
Look,
it doesn't seem real.
Right. Look at these two.
Pivot.
Pivot.
The way you explain yourself, and like I just wanted to show the human side of you because I see the attacks people trying to make on you. Is like you genuinely want to find out who killed your best friend. That's the vibe I get, and from what I see from the people on the right. I mean, I'm not even calling them on the right. I would say Zionist, Israel First Republicans. But I think it's if you were getting 10,000 views and wasn't making any money while you were doing it, I don't think they would have a problem. I think they're pretty much pissed off at your success. Yeah. But you were having a lot of great success before this Charlie Kirk incident happened. Right.
Yeah, that was, they have nothing to judge me on, and that's what they're really upset with, is these are the people that actually tried to grift off of his death. They sold T-shirts, they sold hats. I mean, Turning Point USA made $250 million in a couple of months. So it's just stunning that Erica sits up on Fox News and she says to people that are making tens and thousands of dollars on YouTube, okay, $250 million grift. Like, are you kidding me? In a couple of months? Like, that's just wild to me because they were referring to YouTubers even that were speaking about like the ballistic ones that were going viral. She's like, do you understand how much money they're making? I'm like, yeah, no, actually, do you understand how much money they're making? Because it's a drop in the bucket compared to what Turning Point USA has made. Like, they're trying to make it seem like everybody on YouTube now went from making $0 to hundreds of thousands of dollars or something like that, which couldn't be further from the truth. Our podcast was already top 10 globally.
Right.
Don't forget, this is part of why Brigitte is suing me, because she's saying,
Brigitte, oh, well, are you?
the podcast was successful only because I found out that she has a penis, right?
Brigitte, oh, where are you, my love? We waiting for season 2, part 2. She has me distracted. Now I have to go and I have to. I have to go and I have to do this all over again. Fooling with this doggone Candace, bro. Just talk.
Everyone keeps saying this. When I did the Kabbalah Chronicles and we were top 3 globally, at the end of last year, they were like, "Oh, it's only because of the election." And then when the Blake Lively series went viral and Blake Lively's people issued a statement, it was like, "Oh, it's only because of Blake Lively." It's like, calm down, like, calm down, narcissist. It's because I'm dedicated to investigating things that I'm passionate about. And you could not have stumbled upon something that I am going to be more passionate about than finding out what happened to Charlie. Because,
to Charlie Kirk.
and I explained this to my husband, it felt like there was a part of my political life, like a political innocence that died with Charlie.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I go back to this, looking back at these texts of, oh my God, Charlie, Don Jr. just followed me. Eric Trump just followed me on Instagram.
Right,
Oh my gosh,
right,
this is
yeah, yeah.
amazing. Like, you know, in the future, we might be invited to speak on CPAC stage. Like, we sound like kids. And
Right,
because we were, in a way, we were political kids. And we didn't understand how deep and how evil and, I guess, how dangerous politics could become.
Yeah.
And so I had to mourn that too, like this recognition that this actually happened, and the people who should be protecting Charlie and who he gave his life to are silent. So, yeah, you stumbled upon. You already knew I liked to investigate evil, and then you created an act of evil that was personal to me. So, surprise, I'm here.
How does it feel, Candace, being you was at one point #1 and you fluctuating between 1 and 10, top 10 globally in the podcast? How does it feel to, you know, after what happened at Daily Wire when they gave you a show and said it was uncancelable, and then you started to make criticisms that they didn't like, and then they canceled you, essentially? I mean, how does that feel? Yeah. Because that had to been scary.
Feels amazing.
Yeah.
It gets into this. I mean, it's almost biblical, right? It's like Satan will always tempt you with money, and it is instantly gratifying to say, "I can give you millions of dollars, but you have to be immoral, or you have to shut up on immorality." And the majority of people are willing to make that deal because it's in your face and the money is being offered to you and it's guaranteed, versus the unknown. The unknown is scary. Like, not knowing something is scary. And like I said, it goes back to the idea of the forbidden fruit of knowledge, right? You know this, and so you're tempted by it and you're gonna bite into it, versus like, I'm gonna be ignorant here, but trust God. And I felt that came to me on the topic of Gaza. And it wasn't just like they fired me, they tried to ruin my life. I mean, they were behind pressuring Turning Point not to have me speak. So Charlie and I were discussing that, what was going on behind the scenes. That was very much them. The Zionist lobby getting canceled from touring. They didn't even want me to be able to make an income outside of podcasting. They got my YouTube demonetized. They like organized a campaign to mass report my YouTube right when I was starting it. And we dealt with every blow. It's just like one day at a time. And so when we were, which was pretty instantly at the end of Q4
It was so weird because I remember like randomly seeing Candace like pop up on my algorithm. And I'm like, where is she at? You know, like, I saw like the whole studio or whatever, but it wasn't her name. It was like something else. And so that's when I became aware that there are podcasters who work for like organizations and stuff like that. Like, they don't have their own podcast. They actually work for like other organizations, and you know, they do podcasts through companies. So, and then you just didn't see it anymore. And I'm like, I wonder what happened, because I couldn't remember the name or whatever it was that she was, you know, the name of the podcast that she was working on. And so, and then of course, you know, then she got her own, of course. That's why you have to appreciate getting fired. That's what people don't understand. This is coming from somebody who has been fired before. Absolutely. Lord, I thank you for getting fired every single time. It's so life-changing because you don't have any other choice. You really don't have any other choice but to just go in the other direction. Or, as YouTube would say it, child, create your own damn direction.
2024, like instantly in the
Lord, we thank you for that YouTube. Man, I'm talking about, because the only thing I could think about is all those videos that I deleted from my channel about 3-4 years ago. That's the only thing I could think about. Now, granted, some of them I still do have, like as a video upload, of course, but all those live streams that I lost, that I didn't go back and save before I deleted them. And I say that because I watched Funny Marco. He sat down with Cam Newton, and this was a really great interview. I should have watched it live, but I had started wearing this waist trainer, and it had my back just. Ooh, I couldn't do nothing. I could barely lay down. And even if we try to turn over to the other side, ooh, my back was just all out of shape, fooling with that waist trainer. But anyway, I did sit down and watch it. Great interview with Funny Marco and Cam Newton. So shout out to them for one. But he had said that in his interview. He was talking about some football player. His reference was a football player. But he had talked about it in regards to, hey, don't delete, let people see the progress. Let people see the progress. And that was the only thing that came to mind. Like, dang, I did delete all my little YouTube videos. Dang. Man. I don't know. You just be going through, like, and you'll just wake up and you be like, delete. I was like, dang. I'm like, y'all ain't got no recycling bin that y'all could recover them from, or don't worry about it. It's okay.
3 podcasts in the US and then top 10 globally by, I think, July of last year. It felt amazing. And I said, we should really just take time to reflect and that we survived this, and we survived it by doing the right thing. And I want people to know that there's insecurity and not knowing what's on the other side of things. I've been there. I felt it. It is scary. It kind of feels like a rug is being pulled from under your feet. But you can choose to do deals with Satan, or you can trust God. And I would strongly recommend the latter.
Yeah, you think that's why I've been...
You can choose to do deals with the devil, or you can trust God. Sound like it should be on a shirt. I might need to quote her on that real quick, because I don't want to lose that one. Let me get her a little quote real quick. Let me quote it now before we know who said it. Candace. Does she got that CANDC or Candace? Candace. Owens. Give me a second real quick. Let me make sure. Do I have another? I got one. Okay. Let me see how she spelled that. Candace. Okay. I was just making sure it was Candace, and some people be trying to be all fancy with it and stuff. Okay. Now come on back so we can finish. Go ahead.
Girl was like infatuated with you.
Ooh.
Bro, he has every Standis cup. I know he does. He's like, no one, he watches my show like this.
Yeah, it seems like they're making a show dedicated to attack you. Yeah, that's nuts.
It's crazy. It's insane. It's like gang stalking.
Right.
But I go back to what I said on my show the other day. Is like, you have to understand, like, when you do deals with Satan, like, he's not the creator. He is constantly trying to rebel against the creator, so he can't create. And so when these people get rid of people that are good and godly, Charlie got rid of me because I said, yeah, I know you can't just mass murder kids. Genocide is always wrong, I think, was notoriously what I said. That started the whole thing, got the whole snowball rolling down the hill. But yeah, so what are they stuck with? Bringing back my old channels, like, still trying to, like, please, I can't create anything of value. Let me try to make fun of her, and they don't even do that well. Like, their memes aren't funny.
Yeah.
Because
So weird.
you just don't have the creative flow. That's what happens.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Oh, that has got to be the weirdest thing, though. Somebody fire you and then become obsessed with you. And not only just obsessed with you, they're obsessed with the fact that, oh no, we didn't know she was going to become that great. I've never. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like she said, it is like borderline creepy and scary because she said she had somebody walk up to her and stalk her at an event, a speaking event that she was at, and you know what I mean? Look, they pulling up her old YouTube channel and trying to create some parody around it and about, every time she say something, we're just gonna make a. Y'all so weird. This is so weird on like so many levels, but it does goes to show you like how obsessive people can be just over your success. Just over your success. Just imagine. Just imagine. It goes deep. It goes, especially because this is corporate. You know how it is with relationships.
Walsh, Michael Knowles, I'm not sure how close you got to them while you were at the Daily Wire. Why do you think they're still with the Daily Wire and they're not on their own?
Whoa.
What's
that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, Nina just built an app.
impossible. I've asked myself that question. What I can say is yes. I had great relationships, still do. Matt, Michael, Brett Cooper, who did get out of there, gratefully. And you never know what someone else's burden is. I mean, I know what I went through, and like I said, it wasn't easy. If I'm putting myself in Matt Walsh's shoes, like I said, it's a known. He's able to work from home. He has 6 kids. I think men carry different burdens than women do. And so I try not to read into it too much. But I do know that there are good people. And I've had a good experience with them. They never did anything wrong to me, ever. They never waded into the territory of doing anything wrong to me when I was going through all that stuff. So I have enough enemies. I don't need to make any more, and I'm always praying for them. They're also we're brothers and sisters in Christ as well. So you just I pray for them all the time.
Right. It seemed like very good Christians, but Ben, he seems very vindictive. Like you don't want to cross that man's path. Hey, I'm gonna switch up a little bit. What do you think about that Alex Preddy shooting when they shot him 9 times in the back? Unarmed man.
Okay. I was like, hold on, pivot. Hold on. Where did we just go? Minneapolis. Okay, why he ask about, well, the dudes gonna always bring up the dudes. They're not gonna ask about, what's the name? I can't think of it. I can't think of her name. They might bring it up. Let me see.
It's funny. I was just doing this interview, speaking about that over on a Russian show, and I would like more time to process that because first and foremost, if you had asked me this question back in 2016 when I thought that our government.
Pause, Candace, real quick, because I think it was AP. I think it was the Associated Press who just had a story of course they, because I can't remember her name. The lady in the car who had got shot in Minneapolis before Alex. I can't think of her name right now. I can't. It's there, but it's not there. It used to be there. It could be lingering somewhere in the background, but right now I'm not really focused on her because I remember I was doing my son's hair and I was talking about it. We were talking about it, and I was like, man, I'm pretty sure it's so many undocumented immigrants who have been through worse. I'm talking about worse. Not trying to downplay what happened to Alex, and definitely not trying to downplay what happened to the young lady who was in the car with a girlfriend. But I was like, I know that there are some undocumented immigrants who have been through worse situations than that. And I was so relieved, not relieved for this particular matter, but there was an undocumented immigrant who he had got beat upside the head with one of the metal rods that those police officers use to break the window.
Trump's going to take over. It's going to be about law and order, and it's going to be so great because we're going to have troops go after all these criminals. I probably would have been like, yeah, you can't do this. But I don't know who's controlling our military. I'm still stuck at who killed Charlie Kirk, and there's a lot of military implications.
Right.
So you can't expect me to root on a government body. Like when he's like, oh, I'm going to in D.C. He deployed. I'm saying NATO in my brain. The National Guard in D.C.
Right.
And I was going, I don't like this because Israel's controlling Trump. So that means they're at the helm of our military. And so that's kind of the exercise that I'm constantly going through in my head when these things happen. Like, of course, I have always had respect for law enforcement. And of course, you can see how enraged this woman is. And like these people are, I'm talking about the one that drove first to Minnesota, and that became a scandal. And then you had this guy, Alex Pretty, and it seemed like he was definitely engaging. But I just need more time to process what's actually happening in this country because I'm now considering greater costs than what's in front of our face. So I don't know where I'm at and all that. I haven't spent much time looking at what's happening in Minnesota because I think a lot of it is being blown up in the media because they don't want us focused on Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Or the Epstein
Like
files.
Jimmy Dore had an episode the other day, and
Oh, Jimmy. I watch him.
I'm not sure how I can process this. I don't know how true this is, but it seems like it's true. He said there's a bunch of IDF soldiers working as ICE.
Yeah,
Ooh.
former IDF soldiers.
Yeah, former.
That's true.
Oh.
And they're being
That's true.
trained in
And
Israel.
so I
That
think
is
the
true.
goal is to make us root for ICE, and what we're going to get is the IDF. And I'm not going to do that. So
I see.
that is true. It is 100% true that we have IDF, and there are some current IDF soldiers, like Israeli citizens, that are working for ICE. And why? Because we're talking about the border. We're talking about who the number one traffickers in the world are in Tel Aviv. Okay, and I sense that that's what's happening down at the border, and that they are trying to create an issue that makes us root on ICE because they're planning on taking over ICE. So trying to figure out how to thread that needle while making it clear that I do support law enforcement.
Right.
And there are tons of brave men and women stand up for our military, but I do not support the corruption of our military, which has been going on for decades.
Right. I want to show you this clip of Trump, who was asked about the Epstein files.
Here's the clip, Ken.
Conspired against me. So that takes care of Epstein as far as Trump is concerned. But you have a lot of Democrats out there that are very much involved with Epstein. But I'll be honest with you, you got to get back to running the country too.
On the Epstein files, you talk about Democrats who were in there. Elon Musk was also in there, and so was your Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and correspondence that he had with him. Did you read those new files that were published in the Department of Justice?
And I have a lot of things I'm doing, a lot of things I'm doing. I don't know. You mentioned 2 names. I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure they're fine. Otherwise, it would have been major headlines. I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else. Really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
What would you say to the survivors?
You are the worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for...
Oh, the deflect. It's so cringy. It's so cringy. Now you see where Caroline Levitt gets it from. Now you see where Pam Bondi gets it from. You see where Kash Patel gets it from. It's almost like they go to school just to learn how to do it. As soon as she... Oh, so what would you say to the survivors? Because remember, Pam Bondi was asked about that during her Senate committee hearing. And look, she had to pivot and deflect again as well, just as bad as he is. You know what? CNN. I've never seen her smile before. I forgot where I saw this clip from.
Years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile on your face. You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. And you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you.
Watch Candace.
If you learn how to tell a story, it gives you powers you didn't have in all sorts of places.
She finna chew them up, spit them out. Probably not.
The first time I saw that, it was out of context, and he was just berating her. I was like, wow, he really roasted her. She must have said something stupid. Then I went back, Candace, and I looked at the full video, and I looked at the context. I'm like, why did he snap like that?
Exactly. Because she asked about the...
Well, he doesn't want to discuss the Epstein files even before the dump, right? So we knew that, obviously. And I think maybe Project Veritas had done some work and said that his had revealed a video that someone said his donors were in the files. And we obviously have not received the full files. It's very obvious that what's missing are the current active Mossad-type agents in the United States that we know were intimately involved with Epstein. So he's wanted to turn the chapter on that full stop. Is she being intentionally provocative? Yes, of course, it's CNN. Is she trying to make it seem like Trump was implicated in the Epstein files? For sure. But to her broader point, saying that the victims of abuse, that is a valid question. So when you say let's turn the page on the Epstein files, you are making a remark that impacts the people who were swept up in what was a child sex trafficking operation, which is still being covered by the elites who it served, which, by the way, it goes right back to Israel, and that's why he doesn't want to discuss it. And I want to be clear, this is what I mean when I say he's out of touch with his voters. We care about this. Okay, moms care about whether or not child rapists are running the world. Dads care about whether or not child rapists are running the world. That's not a leftist.
Especially when you have babies and kids, you're like, ugh.
Talking point. If we can't protect children, we're not even a nation. Right?
Exactly.
We have totally violated the social contract with our government has totally violated the social contract if we can't even protect children.
Exactly.
So,
and the fact that so many of y'all are implicated, it's like, wait a minute now, hold on. We need a whole new government at this point. Because
yeah, sure. We had an island. Sure, it was built after an Egyptian temple. Children were being sacrificed. It had a sublayer. But we're now over that because we got him out of a prison and he's happily living probably in Tel Aviv. Like, that's not going to work. That can't be the messaging going forward.
Yeah, I just don't like when he keeps calling it a hoax. It's like, why would you use that verbiage? Why would you use that language to describe the Epstein?
It's like a smack in the face to all the victims of him.
It's because they do think that we're a cult. And I think Trump started to believe that everything he said, his followers would get behind because we fought so hard for him when he was actually wronged. But the important piece he's missing is he had actually been wronged. In this circumstance, the victims of Epstein's network were the people that were actually harmed.
Right, right. What do you think about a lot of Christians are not familiar with the Talmud or the faith of Judaism? Like that, like this term is called goyim. It's a reference that's been going viral, and if you look on Google, people are actually starting to become familiar about this term, and it's an eye-opening experience for a lot of people. Like they're not familiar with the culture of Israelis spitting on Christians in Israel. Yeah. And what does that term Judeo-Christianity mean to you? Or is it just bullshit?
It's to me, it's one of the infinite genders that's been created by the left. You know, it's like, we'll just hyphenate. He's a he, she, Z, B, 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 they be. You're a Christian. You can be a Christian. You can be a Jew. You can be a Muslim. Once you get into hyphenating, what we're trying to do is it's just a psychological operation. But I also want to be clear, I do not view Israel has nothing to do with Judaism. That's just its latest mask. And I talk about this on my show. Even that plays into Israel's hand.
But hold on just a second, because we need to go back to spitting. Let me tell you about this story time. And let me tell you about Pip. Let me tell you about Pip. What's Pip's real name? Stacy? What's Pip's real name? I can't even think of Pip's real name. Anyway, listen. I grew up in Thomasville, Georgia, right? And there was a period of time where we were living in the Villa North. If you know, you know. 31792 Thomasville. And so I remember being outside, right? I promise you, I have no idea what led up to this moment. I have no idea what led up to this moment. But I know Pip was eating a pickle. And Pip used to, I don't know what she does now, but at this time, Pip used to suck her thumb religiously. It was just something that she used to do, and you got to understand, we could be like 9, 10 at this point. Like, you know, but she wasn't sucking her thumb at this point. She was eating a pickle. Now, I don't know where she got this pickle from, but she could have gotten it from Patricia Walden. I'm just saying, it wasn't that many people selling pickles in Villa North around this time. So she could have gotten it from my auntie Trisha. I'm just saying. But anyway, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened that led up to this moment. But I know that Pip, I don't know if she was like saving it and just kind of like letting it, you know what I mean, like accumulate over time, or that could have just been how her brain operates because she sucks her thumb. I'm going to just put that out there. But what I do know is Pip spit on me, and it landed smack dab in my face. It was just this big glob of spit. Not this little spit that they're doing. When I tell you I don't do that spitting thing, but she spit, and that glob, that pickle juice, and all that mucus was so thick. And she just spit in my face. When I tell you, for one, I'm a very fast runner. And I chased Pip all the way to her house. She made it to her house. They ain't have their doors locked. And so I'm talking about it's full speed. I ain't even know Pip was this fast. I'm hawking her down. When ain't nobody saved that day except Big Bird. That was her mama nickname. I forgot Big Bird name too. Big Bird name. I can't even think of her real name. Man, I hauled her down. Ran all up in her house and everything. Until she jumped up off the sofa. What's going on? Big Bird jumped up off the sofa. What's going on? What happened? Wow. What's going on? Child, I had just wiped the spit off of my face. I'm like, man, she spit in my damn face. She looked at her. And I'm talking about she had the meanest smirk on her face. The meanest smirk on her face. And you know, as a mom, she ain't gonna let me get to her. Like, okay, she ain't gonna let me. I'm like, you should have let me put them paws on her, man. Come on. But of course, she ain't gonna. But the fact that this is a religion, that devil is a lie. I know for a fact. It has to be. It has to be. That devil got to be a lie. Talking about it's a thing. No, it's not. That devil is a lie. That I can't confirm. We don't do that.
Allowing them to conflate Israel with Judaism, okay? This is just a radical group of warmongers. Zionism is a political philosophy. Actually, that religion is satanic when you get into it. It's mysticism that informed the creation of the modern state of Israel, and I cover this extensively on my book club. And it's Sabbatianism, it's Frankism. That is their actual faith. They're masquerading as Jews. At times, they masquerade as Christians. That's why you have these Judeo-Christian types like pastors, Rob McCoy, and those ilk. What unites them is Israel, and their political philosophy is Zionism. So, that's my perspective.
Officer Tatum. He called himself a what do you call himself? A black Zionist.
Look at these two. That's why you gotta love them, because their chemistry is like phenomenal. Look how he just looking at him like, get into it. Get into it. Officer Tatum. Do y'all remember Officer Tatum? Do y'all remember Officer Tatum, honey, when he first started and he used to stand against the wall with that light before he got his podcast equipment and stuff like that? You know it hit different when you get that microphone, get you some little studio lights and stuff. This is just a ring light. This ain't even no, you know what I mean? But I will say, hold on, because what you have to end up doing is turning your light so we can see. Look, don't try to do it now. That's what you have to do, turn the light so the light can see. And then I think that's the maximum that it can go. It can't go in it, but it can dim down. I can dim it down a little bit. Oh, she ringing. Hold on. Oh, she started ringing once I dimmed it down. But look. So I figured, I was like, well, I probably don't need the filter now that I got the light, because it kind of helps with the aesthetics. When I tell you, it does take a little investing. It does take just a little, nothing major, nothing fancy, because the laptop got a camera to it. So the phone has a camera to it. So I'm just saying it, but it does take a little time, overtime and stuff like that to kind of find your niche. But we're all one big happy family. I would definitely encourage you to come and join us on the YouTube app. You know, find you something that you like to do. Let me see if I can get your angle right. That's fine. Cause you know we got she got colors to her too. We got red, yellow, green, blue. She got a little RBG to it. Purple, pink. And then she got a little rainbow that'll turn and spin and stuff like that. But we ain't doing all of that. We ain't being fancy. Let me make sure, because you do want to make sure that you at least wipe it off a little bit. Just get you a little piece of cotton and just wipe it off. These are somebody's little shorts, child. 24 months. Ain't number 7 months, honey. Let me go and try to finish, honey, please.
Well, look, so first,
Yeah, go ahead.
what are your thoughts? Go ahead, I'll let you go.
I love him. He's got a beautiful family. I don't wish no ill will toward him.
We've had him on our podcast.
Yeah, and I haven't lost no respect for him. I want to bring him back on the show. It's like, but when I hear people say they're black Zionists, I'm like, where do you think he's getting his information from?
But why the black?
I'm not sure. I think I would love to have that conversation with him. I would definitely love to take him through the history of Zionism because I think he's probably getting it, to be honest, from church. If we think about where most people's perspectives, and I include my former perspectives on Zionism, right? I was with Charlie. We were like, yeah, sure, we're Christian Zionists.
Right.
And a lot of history is intentionally rinsed from the textbooks at school. And so our understanding of history almost comes from like movies when I revisit my prior ideas.
Right.
You know, the worst thing that ever happened was World War II and the Holocaust. It's like what we know is what's put in front of us. And so I would obviously love an opportunity to put something else in front of him. Brandon, to me, he's like a brother. So I have the same relationship with Brandon that I have with Charlie. Right. Charlie will annoy me if I have something to say. Charlie always went directly to Charlie, constantly bickering behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So I see Brandon as like a cousin. And so I can't wait to see Brandon. I'm going to give Brandon a noogies. That's actually what I do when I see Brandon. So we have a long conversation that we need to have, and we haven't had an opportunity in a while, but
that was kind of like how I forgot who that was interviewing Aaliyah, the singer, in the back of a car. I forgot who that was. But that just goes to show you like how people knew about what was going on with Aaliyah and, you know, R. Kelly, because you go back and you like watch interviews and stuff like that. They would like ask her. I remember somebody had asked her, and she would, oh, so what's going on with you and R. Kelly? She was like, Robert, is it really? And that just kind of reminded me of that moment.
I have a lot of love for Brandon, and obviously
how people will call you by, and then she'll, oh, Brandon, yeah, I like Brandon. You see how she's trying to like overindulge in it. Brandon. That was how Aaliyah was. Oh yeah, Robert.
You don't have to stretch your imagination to see that we very much disagree on this topic, but it's allowed. We're allowed to disagree, and I hope that I can bring him to my side.
Yeah, he did our interview after he left Israel. He said they only spit on him once. I was like, why would you? Did you see that?
And when you go on these Israeli tours, because I did it with Charlie, they take you towards certain things, and it is intentional propaganda. It is so intentional. And when I was there, I did not like Israel. Charlie was like, this is amazing. Charlie was, oh, this is wonderful. It's safe. I'm like, Charlie, I feel like we're being taken on a tour of exactly what they want us to see. And
Right.
I sense tension. I sense unhappiness.
Mhm.
I was not a fan of Israel. It was my least favorite place I had visited, even when I was a Zionist. So, yeah, I just disagree with everything that Israel is doing. The Likud party, I think they're a band of terrorists. I think
Right.
so they are a band of terrorists. So
You know what,
we'll
Candace?
see. I will do my best when I see Brandon to put some other stuff in front of him and see if it
Right.
makes an impact.
What you experienced, I have had family that went over there, and he said, man, he felt and he's not popular like you, so I'm sure they was giving you the red carpet, but he was just there, right? And he said, man, those people treated him like he was an animal. He said when he came into contact after Israel, he went to a Muslim country. He said those people was the nicest people in the world. I was like, what? How? I said that doesn't make sense because I wasn't fully aware of what was going on with Israel and the whole history behind it and how complicated those people are when it comes to religion and Christianity. It's like it blew me away. And then now when I started to do my research, I found why they actually treat him like that, because he's wearing a cross, he's Christian, and people, and a lot of people don't understand that people of the that follow the faith of Judaism, they see other races of people, including white people, like inferior to them. Cattle. They say us as cattle for them. Right.
Yeah, having the souls of cattle, and I think that this conversation, which was so censored and banned, is now mainstream thanks to Jeffrey Epstein's emails, where he said that. And like I said, he said this. He was working for the Rothschild family. The Rothschilds created the nation state of Israel, and there is no question that modern Israelis, not to be confused with biblical Israelites, are avowedly racist. Like avowedly racist. It is indoctrinated to them into them in their youth. People that have left Israel have told me that. Like we learned this at school. Because they then go have to serve for the IDF, and they are basically putting them through a psychological a brainwashing course, so that they're okay mass murdering and stealing from people and believing that it is their biblical heritage that allows them to do this. They don't even know that they're just being raised up in a satanic cult. And so I think the dam on that conversation is finally breaking, and I'm very happy about that. And you are correct about the what is in the Talmud. So when you have a person who places the Talmud above the Torah, what they are telling you is that they follow rabbinical Judaism, meaning that they have elected the rabbis to say what is right and what is wrong. They essentially saying we follow man, which means ultimately that you follow yourself, by the way, to be clear. That is what that book is. It's rabbis debating really despicable things at times. So that theological debate is happening. And to be clear, Jewish people who have nothing to do with the state of Israel, of which there are many people that we grew up with, need to be a part of that conversation. This is why people like Dave Smith are so potent, because they want you to think that every black person agrees with BLM and every Jewish person agrees with Bibi Netanyahu. We need to start separating the wheat from the chaff, and all of us should be agreeing that Israel is just a satanic entity at this point. They're just mass murdering children and sacrificing kids to Baal. I mean, that's the extent of what they have done.
Yeah.
Kind of since the nation state was established in 1948, if we're being
right. Yeah. A lot of Christian Zionists, they call themselves that. They said it's just a part of war. I was like, that's funny you should put it that way. It's like when it happened to the Jews during World War II, you call it a Holocaust, but when it happens to anybody else except for the Jews, it's just war.
Even Christians, right?
Yeah.
No one wants to tell you the numbers of how many Christians died during World War II, and were put into the first concentration camps which were first developed by Jews, or those who say they're Jews, Synagogue of Satan. That you look into who created those first concentration camps, and yeah, that's where you end up. And we can talk about the Bolshevik Revolution, and like I said, they worship Satan, and they're explicit in that once you get into studying those things. I'm about to do my book club today, and it's haunting that Sigmund Freud was so explicit about it, and yet people have just ignored that. They weren't hiding it. They're not hiding who they believe their Lord is. And so I think that, like I said, we now have this rare opportunity to have that discussion, and to be precise and who exactly it is that we're speaking about, because I do believe that there has been almost a satanic spell cast on America, that we, I think, are all kind of descending out of at different different intervals.
Yeah, like the Democrats have figured out Israel and how it's an evil empire, but it hasn't. Well, it's getting that way on the right. Do you think that that whole route is going to continue to open the eyes up on the right?
Yeah. Oh, without question. That's why I said I don't believe that in the future you can run as a Zionist and win. I don't even think Trump running on his 2016 platform, because he was openly a Zionist, but we didn't care about that because he was so America 1st that we were like, even if he's pro-Israel, that's going to be like Israel third. It was going to be America, America, and then maybe Israel.
Right.
Actually, wouldn't have even put it as number 3 with the way that he was speaking. And I felt like there was some semblance of that throughout his first administration, but there's nothing in this one. Like, he's very clear. It's like what Bibi wants, Bibi gets, you know?
It makes you wonder how we got here.
That's why we call him over here the boss, Bibi.
United States of Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do you,
Sadly.
do you keep in touch with Ye?
With who?
Ye. Do you still stay in touch with him?
Yeah. I was gonna go see him for Thanksgiving, but
Oh, really?
I host Thanksgiving every year. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was like, I really need you to record your masters because I have such a sense of guilt listening to his music and knowing that the wrong people are getting paid off of it, like the satanic people who literally tried to ruin his life. And so I'm hoping that he'll do that soon. He said he was trying to make time to do that. Ye is also a brother to me. And so in the context, get all people, what do you think about Ye doing this, doing that? It's like, dude, Ye's the reason why Ye and I are like kindred spirits is because I'm going to be Candace and he's going to be Ye. And I think what we both respect at the end of the day is freedom, like freedom to be who you are when you are that person and not demanding it upon other people. And so, I'm due for I want to do a sit down with him.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Record his masters.
Yeah. What?
I wish they would learn how to stop doing that. Yeah. Because now I'm just picking up on it. You know, with like, and I have a bad habit of like, not just using the word like a lot. I have a bad habit when I'm speaking to people. I have a bad habit of interrupting them while they're talking. It's so bad, embarrassingly bad. And I've tried so hard to correct it. And I try so hard to hold the thought while they're talking so that way I don't lose the train of thought, but it'll just come out like, it'll come out so fast. And listening to them constantly, you know, or maybe they could have just had their mic muted while they were talking, you know, while she's talking. You know how Vlad, he mutes his mic while he's while his interviewer is talking, and then he mutes their mic when he's talking, or when they cough or sneeze or something like that. And so I wish that, because it's
think of his song Heil Hitler.
I was just singing that song today. I was literally just singing that song today. I was literally, and I told myself, I was like, just go ahead and listen to it, because it's just going to keep ringing. And I'm like, just go ahead and listen to it, or it'll just keep playing over and over in my head. And I remember when it dropped on World Star, and I actually heard it, and I had my headphones in, and I was like, and then I remember I had to get up early the next morning. They was having this, this community event for moms, expecting moms at a YMCA, and it was raining. I was 6 months pregnant at the time. I had just moved. We had just moved here, and I was like, it just had to rain today. It was pouring down that morning. And of course, we had to stand outside in the rain to get inside. They was giving away diapers and baby clothes and all types of stuff. And I remember playing the song from YouTube. I think I actually screenshotted it because I was like, yeah, he gonna get in trouble for this one. But I remember when I was listening to it on my headphones that night, I was like, man, this got a crazy beat to it. And lo and behold, when I got in the car the next morning and I was bumping it, I'm talking about, man, the beat goes insane. Like, you hate the philosophy of the song because he's saying Hail Hitler. But it just is so unfortunate because the beat just, I mean, especially when you have like some speakers that can really intensify it too. And, you know, then you got that, I'm like, oh my goodness. It's so, in some way, somehow, it just started in my head earlier today when I got up from my nap. Or before I took my nap. And I had just told myself, just go and listen to it. Because if not, if I don't get it out, it'll just keep playing over and over in my head. And I'm like, man, the song goes bananas.
It's just a fantastic beat. I mean, no one can...
Look, see what I mean? Look, that's why I paused. Because I'm like, I know for a fact I'm not tripping, and you can't help it. See, I'm not tripping, bro. I swear to God, I'm not tripping. I knew I wasn't tripping. Look, let her finish.
Who's denying the beat? And excuse me with the lyrics. Like I always appreciate the audacity of Zionists. They're like, we killed hundreds of thousands of kids and you can't say anything. What are the lyrics here? Oh my gosh, it's worse than kill. It's just ridiculous. This like precepts of like speech is the worst thing that could possibly happen. The reaction that we got to when I wake up, I'm gonna go DEFCON 3 on some Jewish people versus like, why do you think what Bibi's doing is wrong when he literally has gone DEFCON 3 on innocent Palestinians who had nothing to do with October 7th?
Exactly.
It's all a part of their psychological games, like trying to convince you that.
See how they keep, that is just. But see, that just goes to show you, I'm not tripping. See? I should have left the iPad back there. No, I think it's outside. Yeah, it's outside. Okay. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. You just can't deny the beat. There's no denying it. Even if you wanted to play it, you got to play it in the car. That's what I'm like, man. And I haven't heard it since that day. So that's how I knew, like, oh, I got to go hear that again because the beat is going insane. But that's how I was with Tekashi yesterday. No, Thursday. When I had ran to the store to get some popcorn because I knew Drewski was going live with season 2 of Could Have Been Love. And I was like, oh, I'm going to need some popcorn for this. And I was listening to Tekashi. And then when I was coming out, it had a song recommendation, and I was playing it, and I'm like, wow! It had a recommendation for me because I was already in the Tekashi 6ix9ine playlist. I was already playing it. I had needed him to get me to Kroger, get in and out, and so I don't know if you've listened to the Tekashi playlist, but he got me in and out. And so, boom, I done ran through the playlist. Uh-oh. Now I got a little recommendation. Some song called What's Up? Oh my goodness. I think I listened to it 5 times from Kroger to here. And I sat in the car and listened to it 3 times because the hotspot was going in and out. I'm like, oh my goodness, this song. So
song is worse than what BB's doing. Their reaction's always that way. Like they can't even believe it. They're completely dropping to the floor and fainting. It's like, you don't like it, don't listen to it, don't buy it. That's fine. Okay.
Right.
All right. Hey, you've been having some beef with Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
Ain't no beef.
Not really.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alex Jones is just like tripping.
Yeah.
I personally enjoyed Alex Jones. He's very entertaining. And so seeing him sort of like, you know, they were Turning Point was throwing around a lot of money. Okay, I get it, whatever. But that was wild. His like week of, I'm going to destroy her. It was still entertaining. I will say, it was Alex Jones. I was entertained by the clips mildly. I didn't even attack him back. I genuinely was laughing because it was so over the top. It was like it was done in exactly the manner you would expect of Alex Jones.
Right.
And then he just kind of stopped.
The check cleared up.
I hate that I still like him. I don't know. There's certain people that have that effect on me, and Alex Jones is one of them where I'm like, okay, I don't know what he's spazzing out about, but I still find him to be entertaining. So
Right. So you made up with Nick?
No.
Nick, there was nothing to make up about. I'm a very simple person. You know, I was very respectful to Nick, had him in this house. We spoke about, I was like, here's what we're going to name the episode. We were so friendly. Well, I mean, you welcome someone into your home, they meet your team, everyone's super nice to you.
Right.
And then for some reason, he gets on air and completely flips, pretends that he's shocked by the title, like we didn't have a discussion about it. That even when we did the trailer for it, it told him I'm going to cut a trailer. Like we basically plotted this all together, and then he went into full theater and drama mode. And so I just know what he is. You know, people tell you who they are very early on. Listen, it's my granddad, constantly instilled in me, and so it's like I just see him for what he is. Like it's drama, it's theater, it's akin to Jeremy Boring at the Daily Wire. And if you don't have, I don't know. I just feel like as a man, when you look someone in the eye, you give them a handshake and you get to know them and their family. That kind of like Judas culture, we just don't.
Right.
So I don't want him to be.
Ooh, not Judas. Oh. That do hit different now when somebody compare you to Judas. Ooh. Ouch. He gonna be mad. He gonna be hollering and screaming in the company.
Let him live his life. Whatever. It's not for me.
Yeah. I guess I was just kind of blown away how he just talks about you. When y'all, yeah. It's like, I don't know.
And then I was watching his show.
Maybe he is racist.
This is considered a heroic
You see
dose.
how they like sit back, laugh
You sure
the
you're
same?
up
They
for
got the
it?
beard the same. These are like real twins.
Yeah. But how do you feel about this term that's going around, black fatigue?
What is
The
that?
emergence. Yeah.
What's that?
What is that?
Oh,
What you put me on? What? Who's getting melanin fatigue? Since when?
Heard of black fatigue?
No.
Black fatigue?
Yeah.
Do I not sound hip? Sorry. Sometimes people have to dial me in. You forget I'm getting old, man. I got 4 kids. Come on, make me.
I got 5. Had to count.
What is it?
Well, it's
What
like
is it?
whenever you see obnoxious black people in public, people are filming it and they're putting a title on it. They're labeling it as black fatigue. You know how black people call white women Karens for calling the cops on a girl for, just selling water. Yeah, it's like it's very similar to that. It's black people's Karen.
Then why is it fatigue? I don't understand. I don't get the comparison. I don't get the comparison. Because I'm like, what does fatigue got to do with it? People just don't let me
Version of a Karen.
I haven't heard this term, but I always say that I had that when during BLM. I had black fatigue. You know,
You see what I mean? Like that connotation makes sense because it's like, but it's like, this is why when I get to heaven, I just need to be with. Then I won't have to hear about stuff like this. Black fatigue. Well, we're going to be in our own section anyway, so it won't really matter. It won't matter. It won't matter.
I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't with black people. Because we were always like the funny people. Then it was like, oh, we're so offended by like someone put her hair in braids. I'm like, what are we doing? Just can't anymore. And it got really annoying. And then it stopped.
It became like a real thing, though. Like they were going after like kid athletes. You can't have locks. You can't have braids. I mean, like they went hard. But just imagine that was supposed to be during DEI. So I was a little confused. Or at the beginning, that was before DEI, now that I think about it.
Now it's kind of transferred and everyone's feeling the Jew fatigue right now. And it's like, oh my gosh, this person in the subway was Jewish and he got pushed. It's like, welcome to New York City. Like this is not happening to you because you're a Jew. Like, so that I just call it annoying people fatigue in general. And sometimes when they make it racial, you do get fatigue from it. But yeah. I'm not in every corner of the internet, but I definitely know that I experienced these feelings during BLM, and I don't feel it anymore though, actually. So
like when BLM started, you was very critical of BLM and the things the Black community embraces. Do you think since then, how your success, your emergence, do you think Black people are warming up to your message because they think that this is a racist country? Is systemically racist, and to see you as a Black woman fight the Jews, the Democrats, you're fighting everybody. And
top 10 podcasts,
top 1 podcast. Do you think the Black community is warming up to you?
We went
for sure.
I can't talk for everybody, but I know I ain't been nowhere. I ain't went nowhere. I'm here. I ain't got to warm up nothing. I'm here, still here. I ain't went nowhere. So all that warming up stuff, I don't need no heat warmer. I'm good.
A question. I think a part of it is because the media did a really good job of making them think that I was literally just being paid to attack them. Like that I didn't actually think these things, and I was just going to be focused on constantly going after Black America, like it was a Black thing. Like she hates being Black, that's why she's doing this. And it was like, no, I literally hate BLM. Like,
and I didn't think about it either. I didn't even think that way either during that time. I was like, I never thought about it that way. Because you just saw so much going on at one time. And then you gotta also understand, I was like still trying to combat homelessness at the time. So a lot of things just didn't have my attention. I can definitively say that. A lot of things just didn't have my attention at that time. Because I have my own problems. I can't be worried about what's going on with Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. I'm like, I'll catch up later because I can't concentrate on what y'all got going on. I'm like, I don't have nowhere to stay. So let me figure out what I got going on. And then I'll get to it. Like I'll get around to it. And eventually I did. I learned about George Floyd. And then I also saw him over there in adult entertainment section too. So I was like, interesting. He got him a little flick over there, child.
But the spell that they seem to be casting upon Black Americans and thinking that this is going to deliver them to the promised land if they loot Target and get a flat screen TV because George Floyd died in Minnesota.
Did I not just?
I don't like stupid. And so I think what they have now that there has been some longevity and BLM is no longer the hot topic and it's shifted and they're seeing me critique Trump and they're seeing me obviously with the exact same energy that I dedicated to BLM. I have been attacking this Zionist narrative about Israel and they go, okay, it really wasn't because I'm Black. It was because I was being annoying. And it's like, yeah, you were being annoying. And I'm glad you're not doing that anymore. And this is how I feel about Israel right now. They're being super annoying and, or Zionists in America. Israel, I think, is forever going to be what it is, which is a satanic entity. But Jewish people in America were first really drinking the Kool-Aid post-October 7th. That was their George Floyd event. And they were seeing anti-Semitism everywhere and they got super annoying. And I think now.
You see what I mean? Because then you have to go back to Nick Cannon. I feel like we need to go back to Nick Cannon. And we have to really try to, and Griff, is it Brother Griff? Who is that? Who was that? That he did that interview with, and then, ooh, that's anti-Semitic. Ah. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting anti-Semitic fatigue. That's what I'm getting. I'm definitely getting anti-Semitic fatigue for sure.
Enough time, they too are starting to go, okay, wait a second. What is happening?
They just put it on anything and be like, oh.
Why is this event? Look what Bibi Netanyahu's doing. This does seem to be a game of politics, as BLM was. And so I'm calling balls and strikes. I don't care what your race is or what your religion is. If you get annoying, I don't care if you're Blake Lively. I mean, the Blake Lively situation. I'm attacking Israel, but also defending the Jew of the situation, as the directors were.
Right.
You know, annoying gets what it gets for me.
What's your thoughts on J.D. Vance? Do you think he's the future president?
I think that the answer to that question has been complicated by the Epstein files because of how many times Peter Thiel was mentioned in them. And he's going to have to contend with that because there's no getting around it. I mean, Peter Thiel did fund J.D. Vance from the time that he was in college. He made him a thing, right? He funded his career in the Senate. He certainly likely got him that deal with Netflix, which is unheard of. He went to go work for Peter Thiel, so there's no separating in the public mindset Peter Thiel from J.D. Vance. And so how he will contend with that will be interesting. Prior to that dump, I would have said he would have been a contender. I think he has been wise. He has been smart to stay away from Trump on the issues. I can tell you he was definitely one of the people that was pushing for answers in terms of what happened to Charlie Kirk. That's what I was told from behind the scenes, that J.D. Vance was pushing, was maybe one of the only people that was actually pushing for answers behind the scenes, which is compelling. And he has stayed away from that super Zionist philosophy. In fact, the Zionists are regularly attacking J.D. Vance. So that was all good for him. He is going to have to contend with the Epstein files and J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel now, though. So we'll see how that goes.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. What do you think if we ever a lot of people saying we're about to go to war with Iran. I'm not sure why we have battleships out there. I'm even not sure what Trump's been saying crazy things that we are trying to make Iran great again, thinking about arming some of their citizens to fight back again. I was like, what is this all coming from? Why does we so infatuated with Iran? That doesn't help Americans.
I just think Bibi is running his Twitter account. Like, it's just Bibi tweeting. I don't know.
You think Bibi's tweeting?
I don't even care about anything. I was just like, oh, Bibi's tweeting again. You know, Bibi drunk dial in America. You know, like I don't even cover anything that's going on because there's no explanation for it at all. It's like Bibi demands the ships, they go, and then Trump tweets something weird after the fact. I just tell Americans, don't send your sons, don't sign up for the military. This is not the United States military. It's nothing to do with the United States. It belongs to Israel. So if you want to die for Israel, sign up for the military today.
Right.
Well said. Well said.
Make lunch with me while I tell you all the things I do not do with my money and why you might be struggling because of that. The first thing that shocks a lot of people for some reason is that
Before we let you go, I just want to ask you one tough question. You've been asking a lot of tough questions. No, this is really tough. If you could change anything, is there anything you ever said or done you wish you had never did on camera? There's something that bugs at you. It's like, what was I thinking that day? I mean, I have a million of them. I don't even have time to tell you how many times I wish I can go back in time and say, man, why did I say that? Do you ever have those situations that happen?
I just think BB is running his Twitter account. Like, it's just BB tweeting. I don't know. I don't even care about anything. I was like, oh,
Those situations happen?
If you asked me in the moment, I would be like, oh, I wish I had done this because then I wouldn't be going through this.
Right.
But then when you have more time from whenever that happened, there's just always, you learn from mistakes. So why would you want to go through life not making mistakes? And
trying to speed run, getting banned. I don't know about getting banned. I think the most I could possibly do is maybe kick you out. Let me see. Yep, I can report you. But you know what? I'll do you one even better. Look, I'll do you one even better. Look, make you a moderator. There you go. See? Now you can just moderate. Now you ain't got to be playing all these mind games.
The biggest thing that happened, I guess, in the public was my firing from the Daily Wire. Why would I want to change that? Look how beautiful that story has turned into. Like standing up for myself, and I feel so good about that. Like spiritually, that God won in that regard. That Christ is King. That narrative, I wouldn't want that to be gone. Would I have if I could go back in the moment? Actually, even when I went down, I knew what I was doing. I was very conscious in saying like, I am okay with this happening and I'm grateful that it happened. I was never going to sell my soul, but I wouldn't take away like working for the Daily Wire or working for PragerU because it allowed me to see how these things work from the inside. So when I'm giving people insight on my show, I now can say this not as an outsider assuming what's happening on the inside, but someone having been on the inside and telling you what's now happening on the outside. So I have the perspective that, you know, God wants you where you are at that exact moment in time. And even
at that exact moment, see, I'm telling, man, listen, people just have no idea how that works. Oh, people have no idea about that timing, that divine timing. It hit a little different. But I think it also hits a little different too once you have like a different perspective on life. It just
it's part of a learning process, and so
I think that's the best time to learn is when you make mistakes. I've learned the most when I fell on my face, and I wouldn't get rid of not one of them. It's like the best learning experiences when you fail.
Look at him laughing.
It makes you a better person.
Funny laughing at him.
Absolutely, and I'm not scared to fail. So that also helps. As there's so much fear of failing, and it's just like, well, then you know what you did wrong, and you do better next time. You know,
right.
Thank you, Candace.
Well, we want to thank you for taking your time today to talk to us. Anything you want to shout out?
Welcome.
Anything you want to shout out?
No.
It's not like you need to shout out.
Right.
You know everybody knows Candace.
I'd like to shout out my cousin who's been holding it down in New York. My
older brother, my daughter, they watch.
I feel like I'm a rapper. You know, they get to just shout out. Like a shout out to my producer, my homies locked down. Pour some out for my fallen homies, my aunts, my uncles back, holding it down in Brooklyn. That's it.
Thank you, Candace. We love you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
We
love you guys too,
so
and
much.
hopefully I'll be back soon. You guys have a good one.
You too.
What is that? Oh my
This
goodness.
is Auk Mini, our second generation Auk. So our company
I hate
was
the fact that I'm live seeing it. I so hate the fact that I'm live seeing it. Oh my God. Why am I just now finding that out? Wait, do you do it over here? No, it's just over here. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. No. Oh my God. Look at Candace. Reach one, teach one. Oh, genuine reaction. I couldn't even hide it if I wanted to. I'm like, oh, bitches, they hearts. Look at Ian. Ian just went live for an hour and 36. I mean, an hour and 39. Oh my God. Look at Ian. No, I'm finna go to bed. No, I can't dare. It's the algorithm. It's the algorithm. Oh my goodness. Look at the Cardi. I ain't finna play on, you know, she playing music. Oh, the hell, Mom. Jesse. What email? Oh, I read it. Okay, I know what email you're talking about. And then Pam Bondi gets cooked, testifying. Look, Cuff Boys talking about her. Trenches. Young Thug cooperated. Put okay. And then that's me, of course. I think I already hear my thumbs up, didn't I? Mute. Be quiet. Cuff Boys talking about her. Do I need the thumbs
Trenches.
up? Look, hold on. Let me tell you, cause you know. I think I already hear my thumbs up, didn't I? Let me tell you what ended up happening. Hold on, don't move you. Do I need the thumbs up? Look, hold on. Let me. Somebody that came in. Let me tell you, cause you know. And you know stuff like this, it'll be like, oh, this message was held for review. Do you wanna? Say I wanna say how to get it. And then somebody that said, let me scroll down. I can come over here and you know, stuff like this, it'll be like, oh, this message was held for review. Do you want to say, I'm just trying to move me out the way. Let's keep forgetting to click it. Let me scroll down. I can come over here and scroll down so you can. And then I made them a moderator. Because I usually moderate the chat. Me out the way. Let me make sure I get me a thumbs up for sure. I usually moderate the chat when I go on, but I was being nice because it's Valentine's Day, and so that's typically what happens. You just get harassed. I don't know what's going on with Stunner Girl and Blueface, and then he did a walkthrough with somebody. I'm so tempted to go over to the end, but I'm finna get ready to go. I'm finna get ready to go. I'll be scrolling, and no. Courtside with prosecutors. Hold on, let me see. Hold on.
Michael W. Fitzgerald, United States District Judge. He's given a history on what's been filed.
Just click. Let me get your thumbs up.
All right, here we go. We got Michael W. Fitzgerald, United States District Judge. He's given a history on what's been filed and everything, what he's going to rule on. The government initially indicated that it intended to introduce evidence surrounding an incident that occurred in 2022 in Chicago. At the hearing, the government withdrew the evidence for consideration. The 2022 in Chicago is the murder of Stephon Mack, which I'm pretty sure one of the killers got caught texting asking about OTF paying them for the killing. So they think Dirk is also involved in that, but I guess the government's not going to show that to the jury. Banks first argues that these notices provided by the government were not specific enough under the 2020 amendment, but as Banks himself acknowledges, the heightened requirements of this amendment are meant to prevent trial by ambush. Banks cannot claim trial by ambush given that he is litigating this motion well in advance of trial. The court is rejecting Dirk's argument for now. They're saying there's no trial by ambush because they're already acknowledging it now before trial. And then Dirk also argues in here that the government could later change why the evidence matters. The court says because the government disclosed the evidence early, it can't later pretend it had a totally different theory all along. The early notices lock the government into its relevant theories, reducing the risk of gamemanship. Bottom line, the judge here is saying the notices that they were given are good enough for now. Now, Rule 404B is basically evidence in the past. The government can't use unrelated past acts to show that he's like a terrible person or something. These two fall under Rule 403, which is the surveillance footage and witness testimony related to the murder of King Von in Atlanta on November 2020. Public pressure from fans of Banks and OTF demanding that Banks exact revenge for Von's murder. Those are just probative value versus unfair prejudice, Rule 403. Another item of evidence that seems to fall outside of Rule 404B are the comments made by Banks on a podcast. While it's undisputed that Banks was the one who made the comments, the quote would seem to fall outside of Rule 404B because it does not appear to be propensity evidence. Evidence consists of the following exchange. He was asked if he was triggered by slide for Von comments, and Banks responded, for some reason I just don't see them. Comments no more. For some odd reason. Might be the water. We hear though. It's unclear whether the government indicated this evidence was subject to the strictures of Rule 404B in the September notice. When the government now concedes it falls outside of Rule 404B, Banks suggests the government benefits by casting this evidence as inextricably intertwined with its prosecution of the case in order to avoid the safeguards of the Rule 403. The government itself presents no argument or case law that this evidence should be exempt from Rule 403 because it is intertwined with its presentation of the case. Accordingly, the government will consider the evidence under the Rule 403 standard. So the court is going to weigh whether or not it's probative or prejudicial. The judge is saying this isn't character evidence, and it's about context, motive, and pressure. So the judge is evaluating it under Rule 403, which is kind of an L for Dirk because it's a much lower bar. All right, so now the murder of King Von is in here. More details. Surveillance footage and witness testimony related to King Von murder. The government argues it is relevant to show the motive for the crimes in this case. Von and Dirk were friends. Dirk then offered a bounty for revenge for the murder of King Von. Banks argues that there's no probative value in delving into the facts and circumstances of the incident that led to King Von's homicide, and that surveillance footage and witness testimony would only serve to improperly bolster the government's theory. The Banks sought revenge against TB. Quando Rondo is TB, by the way, because Banks was not aware of the details of the incident. There's no need to present evidence of those details. Banks argues that the murder of King Von was attributed to Timothy Leaks, and that because Banks did not target Leaks, Leaks' killing of King Von does not bear on Banks' purported motive in this case where Leaks is not a victim. Dirk's lawyer's like, hey, they didn't go after Timothy Leaks, the guy that actually shot King Von in the parking lot or whatever. This evidence seems plainly relevant to the prosecution of the case. Indeed, the fact that Quando Rondo and King Von were involved in an altercation prior to his murder is a foundation for the government's theory of why Banks was motivated to put a bounty on Quando. And Banks has only argued that his evidence would result in a mini trial to establish these facts. The government indicates that this evidence will be coextensive with the presentation of its case. The judge is saying here, anything about King Von's death is relevant to the case. Not good for Dirk, for the jury to see all that. It's just more violence for the jury to see and make it look like he's getting revenge. Public comments from fans. This one was interesting. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. I appreciate the support. Back to the video, boys. Government argues these comments are relevant because they show Banks face pressure from the public to avenge King Von's death. Dirk says it's inadmissible hearsay and that it would add delay to this case because it would require testimony to authenticate the comments. Court agrees with the government that Banks' own statements indicate that he was aware of these types of social media comments. Starting something new is terrifying, I understand, but now is the time to start your business with Shopify. With hundreds of ready-to-use templates, Shopify makes building your website so easy. You can just scroll through all the templates and select which one you want to use. It's so easy. And I'm sure you're asking, what if people don't know my brand? Shopify helps with that. They help you with easy to run email and social media campaigns to try to get your business out there in front of people. You can tackle all the important tasks for your store in one place, like inventory, analytics. No need to save multiple websites and try to figure out which tool you're using on the other website. All very confusing. Everything is in one place, making your life easier and business operations running smoother. Back in 2018, I was scared to start a merch store, and guess what? I ended up doing it, pushing it heavy onto my audience, and I made over $700,000 in sales completely on Shopify using their products and their templates. So simple. And if you ever get confused, Shopify is a 24/7 customer support. This could be your moment to start your business you've been dreaming about starting. It's 2026. The clock is ticking. You said you were going to do it this year. It's time to turn those what ifs into today with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/cuff. Go to shopify.com/cuff. That's shopify.com/cuff. Oh my God. So this is basically, I think it's the academics podcast. Academics is the reason this shit is coming into trial, essentially, for asking him that question about Slide for Von comments. These comments may be omitted to show the effect they had on Banks, and the motion is denied. Oh, no, not good. So now the jury's going to see, oh, his fans were pressuring him to avenge King Von's death. OTF structure and Banks' control over...
But you know, because you know you just saw him over there, Trenches News, because I was watching him on Vlad, and he brought up a good theory, and I'll quote him. I should have quoted him. He said, if you love your wife and you love your kids, you would take that stand. I might have to quote Trenches News on that. He said, if you love your wife and you love your kids, take the stand. Now, will that help? I don't necessarily know, because Cornelius took the stand and somehow, what's his name again? I just read an article about it. Over there on Hot New Hip Hop, Govan. Remember, he got acquitted. I don't understand how Cornelius testified in Justin Johnson's case and he was found. Let me get up out of here. I'm gonna get on up out of here. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I'm that interested in the Lil Durk case, cause we gonna let me see what's going on. It's still, look, did I not just, I'm late, I'm behind, that's why he over here in my algorithm. Who is this? Shorty, who is that? Christian Rock sisters. Gay male friend biting her face. Dating Krishan Rock's sister to Seki. Okay. I mean, he just got random people now. What did it say? Young Thug cooperated with police more than Ghana. Okay. And then what was this? Beat you and Britt baby pig. Britt allegedly offered a 9-year plea deal. What's the charges? Let me get up out of here. I don't. You know, at some point you just have to just call it a day. And just be like, oh, you know what? That was fun. That was nice. I did some good time today. You know, I don't know. I can't get it as consistent as I would like for it to be. And so theoretically, I can't live stream every day. But since Could Have Been Love, season 2 is out now. You're going to definitely see me on that Thursday. Even if I just got to preserve all my energy for Thursday. But you definitely going to see me on that Thursday for sure. Because we have tomorrow what we have. Tomorrow is Sunday. We may. It just really depends. If I take a nap. I took a nap today. So to be quite honest, that's why I'm still here. I did in fact take a nap. If I don't put a pause on that day and take a nap while that Koa is taking a nap, I can't do this. You know, look, 12:39. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And so, with that being said, in the meantime, in between time, love.